Pibasana Rasa Rasika Kripamoya Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Bhakti Vinoda Aswaya Bhakti Vinoda Aswaya Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai Antarashtamad Bhagavatam ki jai Shri Govardhana Puja Mahamotsava ki jai Thai Gaur Premanande. So where we are?
That's so good question.
7, 6, 3, 7.
No, it's somewhere. Gopal. There is no any mark.
Here is a mark.
Okay, maybe I read it last time, but it was like third. Maybe.
This is Yamaraj instructing his messengers.
Yeah, maybe it's that 7.
All right, let's see. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaudhiraye Nasta Praesho Badresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, text number 7. Oh, I don't have my glass. It's up there. Anyway, try to see. Alastam eko bhutanam sasvaranam adishvara sasta dandadharo nirnam subha subha vichesana.
Where is your glasses?
Huh?
It's upstairs.
Oh yeah, but anyway, I think I can manage. Alastameko bhutanam sasvaranam adishvara sastadandadharo nirnam subha subha vichesana. Maybe you can read. Atastvam eko bhutanam Sheshvaranam adishvara Sastadando dharoninam Subha subha vichesana. Atastam eko bhutanam Sheshvaranam adishvara Sastadando dharoninam
human society.
Subha Asubha Vichesana,
Shubha Shubha Vicheshana,
who discriminate
who discriminate
between what is auspicious and inauspicious.
between what is auspicious and inauspicious.
Translation: the supreme judge must be one, not many. It was our understanding that you are the supreme judge and that you have jurisdiction even over the demigods. Our impressions was that you are the master of all living entities, the supreme authority, who discriminate between pious and impious activities of all human beings. There's no purport on this. So I read the other verse and then we see. Tasyate vihito dando naloke vartate dhuna chaturbhi abhute siddhe agyate vripalambhita. But now we see that the punishment ordained under your authority is no longer effective, since your order has been transgressed by four wonderful and perfect persons. The Yamadutas has been under the impression that Yamaraj was the only person in charge of administrating justice. They were fully confident that no one could counteract his judgment. But now, to their surprise, his order has been violated by the four wonderful persons from Siddhaloka. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurumritamina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pastatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Atastam eko bhutanam sasvaranam adisvara sastadanda dharoninam subha subha vichesana. The supreme judge must be one, not many. It was our understanding that you are the supreme judge and that you have jurisdiction even over the demigods. Our impression was that you are the master of all living entities, the supreme authority who discriminates between pious and impious activities of all human beings. So this is conversation happening between Yamaraj and his messenger. Seems like they have been frustrated in a mission. And previous to this chapter, actually, they went to bring that sinful person who was named Ajamil. Ajamil was a very sinful person, and he was destined to be punished by Yamaraj in the hellish planet. But when the messenger of Yamaraj went to pick him up, there was big surprise. Somehow or other, they could not. And they was wondering why. And that never happened before. And this is the first time they encounter this kind of, effulgence being. And they was wondering who they are. And that's why when they came to Yamaraj, they was inquiring, and this is a question they put, that they always thought Yamaraj is a supreme ruler and there's no above Yamaraj. And now, when they saw the four wonderful person, very effulgent, and they was wondering what is their identity, from where they came. This, they say from Siddhaloka, actually, because they was thinking, oh, they are the perfected. Siddha means perfect. So they are most perfected living being. And they put inquiry to Yamaraj about their identity. The reason they could not take that sinful person, because the Vishnu Duta was intervened to prevent them to take Ajamil to hellish planet. Why? because they chanted the holy name of the Lord. Because Ajamil chanted the holy name of the Lord unknowingly. Unknowingly, he chanted the name of Narayan, which was the name of his son who was playing nearby when the Yamaduta came to pick him. You know, he was so scared that he thought about his son, and he tried to say, "Please go away. There are these very ugly people. They're coming." And he was so scared, and he chanted his name. But immediately, all the effect was counteracted. Immediately, the Vishnuduta appears there, and there was a long conversation. Why? Why the Yamaduta should not take him to the hellish planet? And they put, very interesting questions. They say, if you know the law, you should know to whom you should take to hell and to whom you should not take. This is the argument that Vishnuduta put in front of the Yamaduta. And the Yamaduta, as I said, he's a most sinful person. And they told him of his activities. What was his activities? His activity was plundering, you know, like a mafia, on the highway. They stop people and they take away their, possession. And somehow or the beg, borrow, steal. That was a profession of Ajamil Zetel, his profession. And then he says he's the right person to bring to the hell. But I don't know why you're stopping us to take Ajamil to hell. And then the Vishnuduta put the argument. Alas, we can see now a person, you know, who's completely, uh, you're taking a person to the hell, which you don't know the rule to whom you should take. You do not know that at the time of death, if somebody chant the holy name, everything nullified. That's the potential of the holy name. That's the glories of the holy name. So that they did not know. So then they came to Yamaraj, and then they're telling him this kind of things, you know. So this is very, very interesting pastime. How just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, just once, and all the sinful reaction can be go away. And Bhagavad Gita, as Allah says in Bhagavad Gita, in the end of Bhagavad Gita, if somebody sarva dharma parityaja mam ekam shranam raja aham tvam sarve papebhyo mokya simhasaja. I take away all your sinful reaction if you surrender to me. So this is a conclusion, and everyone can, if they take shelter of the holy name, take shelter of the Lord, and all our sinful activities will eradicate. And that's the fact, you know. So especially in this age, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, as a Patita Pavana, savior of the most fallen. And he gives them the very, very easy process of devotional service. In devotional service, everybody should connect to devotionals. Unless one connected to devotional service, no sinful reaction will go away. And that we can see in the pastime of the Lord. Today is Govardhana Puja. And in that festival, Lord Krishna demonstrate everyone should participate in this festival. And that is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 24. But previous to that chapter 24, there's 23rd chapter. It described the wives of the Brahmana was performing the deliverance, the wife of the Brahmana. That's the title of the chapter. In that chapter, it described how the Brahmana was fully engaged in ritualistic activities, but they were devoid of devotional service, and that was a defect. And even so, they was engaging in ritualistic activities of karma kanda. They didn't have devotion, so it was not preventing them to go to hell. Actually, they were thinking, And in that chapter, describe how Lord Krishna and Balram and his friend was herding the cow and they felt so hungry. And the friends of Lord Krishna petitioned, "My dear Krishna, we are so hungry. Could you arrange some food for us?" And Lord Krishna said, "Nearby is a village, go." And there's a brahmana that was performing, they are performing yagya. And the name of Lord Balram, you beg charity, and they might give you. But when the boys, Lord Krishna friend, they went to approach the brahmanas, they were four obeisances, and they said, "Our dear Krishna and Balaram are nearby, and we are hungry. We beg some food." But the brahmanas, they were completely neglected. They did not pay any attention, you know, because they were so busy in the karma kanda activities, in the fructive result. They were performing yagya, to the demigod, and they just neglected. So the boy returned to Krishna and Balaram. He said, you know, "Unfortunately, we did not get anything." Then Lord Krishna said, "Go approach the Brahmana wife. Surely they will give you." So then again the boy went and asked the Brahmana Patnis. When they heard that Krishna and Balaram are nearby, they just took everything, and they did not care about their husband. And they went straight where Lord Krishna and Balaram was there. And they completely surrendered to the Lord, you know. So that is a devotional service, a bhakti, and the fructive result. There's two different paths. If you are engaged in the fructive result, there is no devotional, there is no bhakti, because you have a motivation for self-interest. The Brahmana was thinking they will go to heavenly planet. And even though Krishna was begging food, they did not recognize who Lord Krishna is. But the why? Because they had devotion, because they heard about the Lord. They have heard about the Lord Krishna pastime from the Pulindas. The Pulindas are the Aboriginal girls. They could travel and they heard from them, and also from other people about Lord Krishna activities. And in this way, they develop pure love for the Lord. They develop pure love for the Lord. Whereas the husband, you know, they were so learned in all the scriptures, but they did not have attraction for the lotus feet of the Lord. They didn't have devotion. That's the difference. And in the end, when they realized their mistakes, they regretted. They regretted, but they could not surrender because of the fear of Kamsa. You see. But where the Brahmana Patnis, they just left everything. They did not care, you know. So in a Vedic society, if the ladies, they didn't have freedom to go anywhere, you know. So you can see that the ladies, they just left everything behind and they did not care to return home. And then Lord Krishna finally accepted the prayers and then he said, "Don't worry, you return home. And just think about me all the time, and this way you will develop pure devotional service." I see. Immediately after that, Lord Krishna came to Braj and he saw his father was arranging Indra Puja. Yeah. Just after this incident where the Brahmanas were doing sacrifice, and immediately after that, he saw that Nanda Baba, Nanda Maharaj, and all the cowherd men was busily engaging in another yagya, similar type of yagya. So Lord Krishna, very politely, inquisitively approached, he said, "My dear father, what is all this for? You know, for whom you are doing this, and what is the result of this? Please explain to me." First of all, the cowherd man, they was thinking, "Oh, Krishna is too young to understand." But Lord Krishna insisted. He said, "Please describe to me, and what is is a in the we are liberal person. There should not be any There is no questions of hiding anything. And and of course I am your son, and there is no enmity. You could tell me everything. And Paninanda Maharaj explained, my dear boy, we belong to the Vaishya community. We depend on agriculture and we depend on the rain. And the rain, Indra is a lord of the rain, and that's why we are doing all this paraphernalia, this offering, for the pleasure of Indra, so he can provide us rain. And when the rain is provided, there will be grass, and the cow can eat the grass, and then we can get our subsistence from the cow. So this is for the pleasure of Indra. We used to do it every year, you know. And Lord Krishna has noticed previous year many times, but this time Lord Krishna interrupted. And we should understand that this is the time Lord Krishna was 7 years old. So he has seen previous year also Nanda Maharaj has performed this kind of yajna. But this time he wanted to interrupt them, because there's so many wonderful pastime, you know. Of course, here Indra, he was somehow or other, considering himself, as a controller. So even the great demigods, they can come in the position of Maya, you know. It is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, the very first verse. Janmadi yasya yato navayat itaratas chateshu abhigya swarat tena brahma hirdayadi kavai muyanti yasuraya. The word muyanti suraya, even the great demigod and sages, they get bewildered to understand Krishna. You see, this is the position. Even the demigod, the great personality, yes, no doubt, but they can also forget. They did not know Krishna fully. So in this pastime, Lord Krishna wants to demonstrate, you know, that actually he is a supreme person of Godhead. But for the Brajabasi, the Nanda Baba and all the Brajabasi, you know, for them it was a natural thing to do this Indra Yagya, because they used to do it every year, you know. And this was like a tradition. And Lord Krishna, when he asked, what is the result of this? It is mentioned in the Shastras, this kind of yagya, or is it just a tradition? And Nanda Baba explained to Krishna, actually, we depend on upon the rain, and Lord Indra is in charge of the rain and the cloud, and profusely he supply, and in this way we get our sustenance from the cow. So that's why it's like a, you know, uh, we are obliged to do that. Actually, we can see Lord Krishna, he preached like a atheist karma mimamsa philosophy. He said, what Indra has to do, you know? But remember that this is only for the Brajabasi. It was not meant for Krishna, the general public. If you read Bhagavad Gita very carefully in the 3rd chapter, Lord Krishna said, about the yagya. He said the beginning of the creations, the man and demigod, we are understanding by yagya, performing of yagya, all the fulfillment of the human being can be fulfilled. When the demigod are pleased, they provide everything. So remember that in the Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter, Lord Krishna explained. And if somebody doesn't offer, yagya, they are thief. They get all the necessities, but if we don't offer to the demigod, it's like a thief. But this conversation, Lord Krishna, what he's talking to the Brajabasi is just want to prevent them doing this kind of yagya. It was only means for the Brajabasi, you see. And Lord Krishna has preached karma mimamsa philosophy. Like just depend upon your work, the result you will get. Even if there's God, he's depend upon people activities, and in this way they get the result. And we can see that Lord Indra can supply rain not only on the land, he supply rain even the sea where it is unnecessarily. So we can see he can't, Lord Krishna, he puts forward the argument that, you don't need to do the yagya that Indra will provide rain. Rain can be, you know, can, even where there is no need of rain, there's rain. For example, in the ocean, you know, in the desert land. So it is not that the rain, when you do that yagya, that Indra will provide you rain, you know. And Lord Krishna explained actually by the mode of passion, rain come when the cloud, is a product of the mode of passion. And in this way, he supplies rain. So we don't need to do that. So Nanda Baba and all the Brajabasis say, okay, you know, we will do this yagya. And Lord Krishna proposed, no, 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 you don't need to do it. All this paraphernalia which you have been arranged, we use it for another way, another yagya. And Lord Krishna proposed to do yagya of Govardhan, Giriraj, to the Brahmanas, to the cow. And the Brajabasi, they say, how to do that? He says, it's very simple. All this arrangement, what we have been collected, all the ingredients, the same ingredient can be used. There is no need to behave separately. First of all, we will do the yagya, we will please the Brahmanas. And by giving Brahmana gift charity, and they can chant Vedic mantras, in this way we worship the Brahmanas. And worshipping the cow, just feed them grass, you know. Doesn't mean that, you do arti. Feeding. Worship of cow means just take good care of the cow, give them, grass, green grass. And in this way, all the ingredient, since our sustenance comes from the forest and this giriraj, this hill, is providing all the necessities. So we will offer to the giriraj. So that was the first time the Brajabasis, a new proposal was for them. And then say how to do that. And Lord Krishna give them instruction how to cook all the preparation what we needed. And then in this way, we will feed the Brahmana, we give them grass, the cow, and then we circumambulate Govardhan. And we will offer everything to Govardhan. And this Devata, this Govardhan Devata, he will accept our offering. And finally, say, Lord Krishna said, my dear father, this will please me very much. So then the Brajabasi say, yes, whatever you said, if this please you, so we will forget about Indra Puja. And this is full surrender, similarly like the Brahmana Patnis, they were fully surrendered. And similarly, the Brajabasi actually is, for them, Lord Krishna is their life and soul. All the Brajabasi have a special attraction for the Lord. The Brajabasis, they don't know anything, they just know the Lord Krishna. And for them, even so, it's been a bit traditions for a long time, this Indra Puja, they rejected it. And they listen to Lord Krishna because what is pleased to Krishna, that is the point. The point is to please the Lord. Just like Lord Krishna, Arjuna, the battlefield, he did not want to fight, but when he understood that the Lord wants us is fighting, and then he completely surrendered, yes, I will fight. But in this case, the Brajabasis, they already had the attraction. They had this, this Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous attraction. They were not the sadhana bhaktas. All the Brajabasis, they had natural affection for the Lord. So when Lord Krishna said, this will please me, my dear father, and then say, yes, we will do whatever you want. and they did not care if Indra will punish them or not. You see. So in this way, Lord Krishna gave instruction, and they brought all the offering. And Lord Krishna said, all of them, please offer your obeisance to Giriraj. And then Giriraj himself, this is a special privilege. Lord Giriraj is Krishna himself and same time a great devotee. That is inconceivable. You know, how the Lord can be devotee and same time the Lord himself. And Lord Krishna is doing obeisances to himself. And he took a huge form, very huge form. And I said, Lord Krishna telling all of them, now you see this huge form, Giriraj, he's accepting our offering. Please offer the obeisances. And all of them offering obeisances. And then they were feeding Giriraj, and Giriraj was eating everything, everything. And they said, bring me more, Anayo, Anayo. That's a place called Anayo, where Giriraj was eating. And everybody was surprised. He said, my dear father, you see, I told you, I was this Devata, Giriraj is a Devata, he's accepting our offering. So this festival is also known as Anakuta festival. And this has been enacted again in Kali Yuga. This pastime was completely, due to Kali Yuga influence of time, this festival was stopped. And again, Lord Krishna wanted to inaugurate the same festival. And this was revealed to Madhavendra Puri in our great, the original acharyas in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnava. We accept Madhavendra Puri, the first acharya in the line of, Raganuga Bhakti. Before that, there was no Raganuga Bhakti because it had the separation from the Lord. The sentiment what Madhavendra Puri had, it was separation from the devotional service in spontaneous attraction in separation of the Lord. And that's our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya is considered our the first Acharya. While he was doing circumambulating Govardhana Parikrama, he never do Madhukari. Madhukari is a process where sannyasi can accept begging food, from the house of Grihastha. But Madhavendra Puri, he did not accept even that Madhukari. So whatever if somebody offered, he take. If it's not, he just fast and drink water. So after doing this parikrama, he was sitting under the tree and chanting his mala, he's chanting his japa. And Lord Krishna himself appeared as a cowherd boy. He said, my dear Brahmana, my mother was fetching water and see you sitting here, and you should accept something as a food, begging, but you'd never beg. And that's why my mother sent you some milk. Please take this milk. And I will come later to fetch this pot. And Madhavendra Puri, he saw the boy very attractive. He accepted the milk. And after that, for some time, he just drank the milk. And for a while, he was a little bit sleepy. And in the dream, he saw the same boy. He said, my dear Madhavendra Puri, I am suffering. I am buried. Please come and rescue me. And when he woke up, he said, oh, what I did. The Lord was appearing in front of me. I did not recognize. And he was lamenting, he was crying, full of ecstasy. And then he informed to all the people nearby. He said, Lord Krishna is under the ground and we should rescue him. And they took they cleaned the path of the forest, and they dig the earth, and then the huge, very beautiful deity of Gopal has came, appeared. And Madhavendra Puri, you know, organized this festival. They said, now we should bathe Gopal. So all of them, they brought, Jamuna water, Manasi Ganga water, with pots, hundreds of pots, and they bathed the Giriraj, and they cooked so many preparation, you know, so much preparation was prepared, and the Lord accepted everything, you know. And Madhavendra Puri, at the end of the festival, he just drank little bit milk, it's described. So this festival again, is very, very huge now in Vrindavan. The Brajavasi, all the village in Vrindavan, they come and participate, and which was lost. Again, Lord Krishna introduced this festival in Kali Yuga by Madhavendra Puri. So this deity, Giriraj, was on the top of Govardhan Hill. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan, he was doing parikrama, and he wanted to see his deity, but he could not, because Mahaprabhu considered Giriraj non-different from the Lord, so he could not climb on the Giriraj. So somehow or other, the Lord made arrangement to come down. There was this kind of rumor that the Muslim are coming to attack the village, and the priest brought down the deity and hide it somewhere down. And in that way, Mahaprabhu had darshan of this deity. Very beautiful. And he sings this verse, Hantaham Atri Abala Haridasavaryo Yada Rama Krishna Charana Sparasa Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayo Yat Paniyasuya Vasa Kandhara Kandhamole. This is from the Venu Gita. In the Venu Gita, I think it's chapter 20 in Srimad Bhagavatam 10 canto, where the gopis are glorifying the flutes of the Lord, song of the flute of the Lord. It's called Venu Gita. So this verse is also included. It describes the glories of Giriraj. Actually, Sanatana Goswami explained this verse actually spoken by Radharani herself, because in that chapter many different gopis are talking, explaining about Lord Krishna flute, and this particular verse was spoken by Radharani. In a way, it's a hunter, in a wonderful way. Hunter means say, look all the gopis. How is it Giriraj? He's the most dear to Haridasa. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Haridas have been explained to Narad Muni, to Uddhava, and to Yudhishthira Maharaj. But this Haridas is a specialist. Giriraj is also known as Haridas. He's the best devotee. Why? Because he's getting the lotus feet of the Lord all the time to Krishna and Balaram both. And he's so ecstatic every time Lord Krishna is playing there with his cowherd boy, with his cows. And he feels so much ecstasy, Giriraj. And in this way, Giriraj provides to the Lord Kandha, sweet water. Manasi Ganga water is there. Cave, beautiful cave, where Lord Krishna could hide and take shelter, and all the grass, soft grass to the cow, and fruits and roots. So different kind of preparation Lord Giriraj is providing. So that's why he's known as the best devotee. I see. And Mahaprabhu, when he was doing this, he was chanting all the time this sloka. Very beautiful sloka about Giriraj. So Giriraj is very, very dear to the devotees because the best devotees. And so many pastime has taken place in Giriraj. And till now, especially our Gaudiya Vaishnava and also the Brajabasi, all the people, they take full advantage of this festival. And it gives us so much, you know, inclination and, 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 and impetus to progress in spiritual life, you know. So this festival is very, very important. It's not ordinary. And it gives so much pleasure to the devotees. And And Srila Prabhupada, on his last day, he wanted to do this Govardhan Parikrama. And Lokanath Maharaj, he just came to Vrindavan from Himalaya. They were doing traveling Sankirtan party. And he came to meet Prabhupada in his room. Prabhupada, if you have seen the video, the last video, Prabhupada, he was completely fasting. He was not eating. He was so skinny. And when Prabhupada heard a report of Maharaj, and there was leaving, the devotee was leaving, and he called Maharaj. I say, I would like to go to do parikrama, Govardhan. Could you arrange for that? And Maharaj, of course, he had experience. He wanted to go on bullock cart. And Maharaj he immediately went to arrange all these things and bullock cart. Then all the senior devotees, said, there's no way Prabhupada could go in that condition. And Prabhupada insisted that I would like to go. And finally, the devotee was crying. And then Prabhupada said, okay, if you really want, then I will not go. And it's funny that last week, after 50 years, that was 1977. And after 50 years, Maharaj, he organized to bring Prabhupada in, you know, Govardhan Parikrama. Of course, the devotees they did before, but this time they did in block cart. And about 5,000 devotees participated last week.
Chai.
Yeah, that was a 50th anniversary of Kartik festival. And the first Kartik festival was 1972. And Maharaj took Diksha in Radha Damodar temple. So at the same time, they thought, okay, it's the right time to organize this Bullock cart festival. Bullock cart, they took Krishna Prabhupada from Krishna Balaram Mandir and they put him on the bullock cart and they went to Govardhan. They did the parikrama. So there was few days festival in Govardhan, and because that was the last wish of Prabhupada, and Maharaj felt he had obligation to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's last wish to do Govardhan Parikrama. So it went well, and finally Prabhupada went on bullock cart after 50 years. It's better late than never, so that was a great achievement. So Giriraj is very, very merciful. There's so many pastime. Raghunath Das Goswami, when after Mahaprabhu's disappearance from Jagannath Puri, he was thinking, oh, what's the use? When Mahaprabhu is not here, I will just go in Govardhan and I will commit suicide. And when Raghunath Das Goswami came to Vrindavan, of course, as other Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami understood what his intention, and they prevented him to do that. Instead, they told him, because you have so much association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please recite, tell us the pastime of Mahaprabhu. And at that time, at Radhakund, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he was such an old age, almost 100 years old. He was a Kaviraj. Kaviraj means great poet, and uh, he heard all the pastime of Mahaprabhu from Raghunath Das Goswami, and then later on, by the request of the devotees, uh, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a pastime in Sripad, Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, and Antya Lila. So that was by the grace of Raghunath Das Goswami, who was living at that time of Radhakund, you see. So there's so many pastime of that. Okay, I think I stop here. Maybe somebody have anything to say about Giriraj. Yes?
I have one question at least. How those, how I say, Ratchapatis or something like this, Ratchapatis,
Hmm.
how they didn't know that Krishna is the supreme and they must worship him instead of King Indra? And were they not
You
like,
see, this is a thing. It is described when we sing every day. It is Damodar Staka in a certain chapter, certain line. It describes it is Swasa Lila Ananda Kunde Swagosa Nimajantam Ananta Bhaktyam. By such childhood pastime as this, he is drowning the inhabitant of Gokul in Purna ecstasy and revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that is only conquered by devotee whose love is imbued with intimacy and free from all conception or reverence. You see, that's the difference. There's two kind of devotees. Those devotees, those are Vidi Bhakti, the sadhana bhaktis, they follow the rules and regulation. And for them, we do not see God as a lover, God as a mother. That the Brajabasi, they don't have that. Because Yoga Maya covered them. They had so much love, intimacy love. This all reverence, there's not there. How come Mother Yashoda is chasing Lord Krishna with stick? How you could do that? In the third canto of Bhagavatam in Kapila Devi, we describe, you know, the rain god, the Indra, is scared. Because of that, he is providing rain. The sun god provides light due to the fear of the Lord. The fire burn due to the fear of the Lord. Yamaraj take his toll due to the fear of the Lord. That's Kapila Dev describing all the demigods. They're completely obliged. They're doing their duty because of fear. The time factor, everything fear. But here it describes Mother Yashoda, where everything is fear factor, himself is fear of Lord Krishna. But how come Mother Yashoda is chasing Lord Krishna with a stick and Lord Krishna is crying, rubbing his eyes again and again? Because there's no old reverence. There's so much intimacy. You see, Lord Krishna, he did this. The Brajavasis that was doing the tradition, what they used to do. They are the cowherd people, the Vaishya community. Vaishya community especially, they were taking care of the animal, go raksha. They could do business. Lord Krishna said, we are the Vaishya community, but our occupation is just take care of the cow and land. They don't depend on a business. Of course, the Vaishya can do business, that's included, but they were specifically taking care of the cow, the cowherd, you know. So for them, it was a tradition to do this Indra Yagya, And for 1 year, Indra stopped doing that. He got so angry. We could see that how even though Indra, he got influenced by the mode of Raja Guna, because they are not also free. They are also on the mode of material nature, even the demigod. you see. And especially those who are performing fructive result, because they're so much attracted to get the result, and they lost the intelligence. Kama sthiti hita jnana. That's the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord said those who are worshipping the demigods, they lost the intelligence because of desire to enjoy material life. That's why they do this kind of performance, for fruitive result. And that was the Karmakanda Brahmana was doing that. They completely ignored Krishna. There was, there was so much thought in the fructive result. Even so, God Himself begged something. They refused. You see, so that's the misfortune. But the fortunate was the wife of the Brahmanas. They understood the glories of the Lord and they did not care. They surrendered completely to the Lord.
There's one question online. Stated like not so clear. What if I could remember my death in the previous life and equal inauspicious to remember having died auspicious? What does it mean?
I mean, when you have a body, material body, either auspicious or inauspicious doesn't matter. As long as we have a material body, it is inauspicious. We have to understand this material body is not a place to be because it's always a place of suffering, to kalam ashashvatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Mamupetya tu konteya puna, Mamupetya tu konteya dukhalayam ashashvatam. This material body is dukhalayam. Dukha means is pain and temporary. It's not eternal. And the eternal, the highest benefit, param gatim, is to go back home, back to Godhead. Ultimate benediction, the highest benediction, the highest goal of life is to go return home back to Godhead, to have a spiritual body. And this is a topic in Bhagavad Gita. Many places the Lord described param gatim. Paras tasmat tu bhavo nyo bhakta vyakta sanatana. After describing the material world, how it is, then the Lord says there is another place which is eternal and free from all these inebrities. And that is my abode. And when one returned to my abode, he never had to come back. And that is the destination of the devotees. Not this material world where every step is suffering. So it doesn't matter if you remember your previous life. The goal is not to take birth, that the devotees, return home back to God and be in the association of the Lord. And that's why the Lord come every time to demonstrate what is the spiritual world, what is Vrindavan, where all his childhood pastime has taken place, just to attract living entities, to attract us to go home back to God and we could be with the Lord as a friend, as a cowherd boy, as an intimate connection, in any of the five kind of relationship we could have, as a servant, as a friend, as a parental, as a lover. So in the neutrality. So this is a described in the in act of devotion, where we can have full attraction of the Lord and we can have this direct relationship with the Lord. So that is highest bhakti. If you want to understand this, from the ordinary bhakti, which is Vaidhi bhakti, and Raganuga bhakti, that's the books, nectar of devotion. All the bhava had been described, all kind of emotion. And only in that pastime, Govardhana, when Lord Krishna lifted his Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights, all the Brajabasi, all kind of devotee was present. You see, the children, the woman, the elderly person, the animal, everybody could everybody could drinking. They were practically drinking the Lord through their eyes, and there was no any inconvenience, of the about the devastation, how the Indra is pouring rain. No hunger, no thirst, no sleeping for 7 days, 7 nights, no sleeping, no eating, just drinking Lord Krishna beauty. That was an intimate association. You see, when Lord Krishna used to go to the, every day in the pasturing ground, the gopi was feeling separation. The gopi was feeling so much separation, so much pain. They were thinking how Lord Krishna is walking to the pebble that will prick Lord Krishna lotus feet. Lord Krishna body is so soft. So they were thinking, oh, our breast is so much hard. So they wanted to put Lord Krishna feet on the breast, so that he feels so much, comfort. But they say, our breast is so hard, that was a condemning the gopis, because of separation of the Lord. And Maria Yashoda, every morning when Lord Krishna go, she was feeling separation. And when the boys returned home, at night they were thinking, oh, when is early morning we could meet Krishna. So the cow was separation from Lord Krishna. So this Govardhan, actually it was the most, for the Brajavasis, that was a highest benefit, highest how to say it, benediction, that they could see Krishna all the time. You see. So actually, in a way, Indra did a favor to the Brajavasi. In that way, you have to see. It was not a misfortune. This was full of ecstatic. This is described, that is called, bhava, anubhava, how you call it, stay bhava continuously, Stay bhava means continuously there has this emotion. It's just like a wave. All the time the wave come, you see. And different kind of emotion in the pastime of the Lord, and that give impetus is increasing all the time, the ananda. Lord Krishna perform all this pastime just to give pleasure to the devotees. Seemingly it's like an unfortunate situation become very favorable. Big devastation, torrent of rain for 7 days and 7 nights non-stop for the Brajavasis. That's the difference. So the Brajavasis has this intimate connection, and they were in the Raga Nuga Bhakti, not in the awe and the reverence. And that is a very high level. When we come Krishna consciousness, that we are learning, and that is prema. Mahaprabhu came to give this prema bhakti. We sing the Guru Puja, prema bhakti jahan hoiti avidya nasa vinasyate. When you develop the prema bhakti, all the ignorance is gone away. And that is our goal, ultimate goal of life, is to understand love of Godhead. And we should follow the Brajavasis and the footstep of the Brajavasis. Then you can attain that. There's no other way. There's no other way to attain that. So all the great devotees are following the footstep of the gopis. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Gopi pada kamalayo dasa dasa nudas. We are the following servant of the gopis. And that is our intention, nothing else. All right. Jai Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Govardhana Puja Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ki.